Hello, it's Roger Mark for Billings, Montana. This is Judge Andrew Napolitano. Pronounce his name wrong.
Your right to think as you wish, to say what you think, to publish what you say. Your right to develop your own personality. I've told O'Reilly 100 times he better be grateful that that's a natural right. Your right to worship or not to worship. Your right to associate or not to associate. Your right to defend.
These rights are being infringed and they're being illegally done. The Patriot Act is being talked in here too, but he's not to it yet. But the important stuff is how Kavanaugh is connected to all this.
Which, of course, is not the right to shoot deer. It's the right to shoot at tyrants. If they take over the government and we have to drive them away or we have to secede, just as we seceded from Great Britain. Your right to stay in your house without the government's troops coming in, the Third Amendment, and the quintessential American right in the Fourth, the right to be left alone, which of course today we call privacy. The Fourth is the most unique one because it says the people, doesn't say the citizens, it says the people shall not be interfered with in their persons, houses, papers, and effects. Persons, houses, papers, and effects, except by a warrant signed by a judge based on probable cause. Probable cause means probable cause of crime. It doesn't mean probable cause that you're talking to a book agent in Florence.
Plausible cause of crime. There was no probable cause in Kavanaugh's case. Not legally, not locally. And this is all a setup because they don't want him in there because of what's going on.
A real case in which the NSA was listening to a conversation in Italian. They thought they were hearing a terrorist. They were just hearing a guy in New York trying to buy a book from the book agent in Florence. When the case came to court, the judge said, well, there's no prosecution here. They didn't come after you for anything you said. Therefore, there's no violation of the Fourth Amendment. Who wrote that opinion? See if you've heard of this guy. About which more later. Okay, so now we have to ask ourselves some questions. And the questions are, is this for real? Does the government really believe in the natural law tradition?
No, they don't. They're getting further and further away from it. We're not even taking our oath seriously to defend the Constitution and the natural law which is associated with that. Big problem. Citizens need to rise up and hold these officials accountable at all levels.
Is this for real? Has anybody really consented to the government? But do you know anybody that's consented to the Constitution? I mean, do you consent to the Constitution by voting? Suppose you don't vote. Do you consent to the government if the people you voted for are not in the government?
Okay, so Kavanaugh's been mentioned there, and he made the ruling. But the problem is they know where this guy's at. He is a true constitutionalist. He's already had his opinion shown several times. And the liberal Senate does not want him in there. So that's why this is real, and that's why he's currently being under a sexual slander charge after all these years, even when this gal was a teenager.
Consent to the government by walking on the sidewalk? If the government really believes that our laws are natural, then how could we have the Patriot Act, which permits federal agents to write their own search warrants, forgetting the requirement that only judges can issue search warrants under the Fourth Amendment? I could tell you stories about the Patriot Act, but not only...
That is illegal. Shouldn't be done. Unconstitutional. Shouldn't be done. And so, again, they're breaking the constitutional laws and the natural laws associated with the Constitution. And the citizens need to rise up, understand what their rights are, and defend those rights and clean up this massive abusive government which currently exists. Is it going to be easy? No, but it needs to be done.
Does it permit federal agents to write their own search warrant? So FBI agent A writes a search warrant authorizing FBI agent B. There's got to be at least two of these characters involved in this. And then B can serve the search warrant. And when they serve the search warrant, they say, by the way, you can't tell anybody that we served this on you. That's another violation. You can't tell anybody. The government's going to enforce silence.
So again, they're breaking the Constitution again all over the place. Citizens need to rise up and defend the natural law and the Constitution. This is why these liberals don't want Kavanaugh in there. And Judge Andrew, his last name, I want to screw it up, Napolitano or whatever, Napolitano, screwed his name up. But he's been on Fox News. He's given his opinion many times. Fox News doesn't even want him on there sometimes. So the pressure to go against the Constitution and natural laws is tremendous, and it's being broken in many ways.
Silence? What about Congress shall make no law abridging the freedom of speech? What young lawyer was the scrivener when they were putting together the Patriot Act? There he is. Now you know why I was willing to get my fingers burned by pointing this out 10 days ago.
So we're in big trouble. Kavanaugh didn't want the Patriot Act to go through. He was doing things that were constitutional and right, and they don't want him in there. Period. Again, this is Roger Martin from Billings, Montana. Share this. I'll give you the source on this. Let's get after this and show it for what it really is. Government out of control, not wanting to obey the natural laws of the Constitution of the United States. And this is Roger Martin from Billings, Montana. Good day.